I got interested in the organ when my mum and dad used to take me to church, and I felt that I was wanting to stay sitting in the pew, to listen to this. Meanwhile, my mum and dad were dragging me out, saying, "Your dinner's ready, come on." It's a very specialised art form, playing the Wurlitzer. Unfortunately, a lot of the old cinema organ greats from the cinema days have now passed away. Originally, cinemas, as they got bigger, one of the problems was that the piano, which was normally used to accompany films, wasn't loud enough.
All of the organ is controlled from each manual, whereas in a classical organ it's all split into sections, and different manuals have different chambers and different ways of controlling them. This one is like a whole orchestra, and I from here am the conductor controlling it all at once.
As you can hear, that's a very mellow sound, and once there's a heavy tremulant added to that, it gives it the distinctive singing quality of cinema organs. There's nothing electronic here because this was made in the 1920s and 30s, so all the sounds are real, and they're made by these different shaped pipes. Over this side we've got 5 ranks of pipes with a clarinet and a couple of violins and a flute and a diapason. That's a kind of church sound. These came with the original organ from, they're at Stockport. But over this side we have pipes that we've added from other Wurlitzer organs. Some of these pipes come from, for instance, this set here comes from the New Victoria Cinema in Edinburgh. These tubas, they came from a theatre in New York. These particular pipes here came from an organ in Canada, because Wurlitzer exported pipes all over the world.
There are, which you'll see in the piece I'm about to play, mechanical percussions upstairs, which include untuned ones such as the bass drum, kettle drum, crash cymbal, tap cymbal, triangle, snare drum, all that sort of thing, as well as tuned ones. There's piano, there is xylophone, glockenspiel, and what we call in the theatre organ chrysoglot, which is really a vibraphone, a metal vibraphone. Yes, I'll play something for you now, and it'll show you in some way how much of this fits together.
Putting the organ into here was quite a mammoth task. We had to build 2 rooms to contain the pipe chambers and all the percussions and drums, etc. And they were all put up here. Down in the basement, we also have 2 large blowing machines. These are the 2 giant blowing machines for the organ. Basically what they do is they draw the air in through these air filters and compress it up to about £1 per square inch, and this then feeds up to the organ to supply all the bellows. And these are the starters coming in. That's the soft starter, and it just spins the motor and the machine up, so you can hear to the correct speed. Hear this one coming on now, it's what's called a star delta starter. So it builds up the speed, and then you'll hear a big plunk as the main power comes on. That's us, up to full speed. Well, we have a great team of volunteers. There's 6 or 7 of us who come along here 2 or 3 days a week. We're very fortunate that in our team people have separate disciplines. Some are good at wiring, some are good at cement and builder work, some are good at joinery work.
We come down here 1 or 2 or 3 days a week, depending on what time we've got, and we don't have any arguments. We have lots of discussions, but we don't fall out, because what's the point of falling out? We're too old to fall out. You know?
Before you have your cup of tea, I'm going to play a couple of pieces now. Spanish, I'm going to whisk you off to Spain. I've never been to Spain, but I play Spanish tunes. The first of them is called España Cani, and then we go into one called Amparito Roca. And then you get a cup of tea.
Glasgow was known as Cinema City. It had so many screens, and at one time there were 23 cinema organs in Glasgow. We run the organ as it used to go in the old days when the organ came out or it rose up in the lift.
I didn't see many of them, did you?
Yes, they used to come up out of the floor in the interval when they came round to sell ice cream, Kia.
We also have an ice cream lady who comes out. We put the spotlight on her, and she comes out with her tray and her torch, selling cups of ice cream and buttercrisp and Kia. People just love that because it takes them back to the old days that they remembered, maybe as a child.